सफलता किसी का इंतजार नहीं करती, सफलता किसी का इंतजार नहीं करती। जो काम है वो आज ही करना पड़ेगा। अगर आज ही वो काम नहीं किया तो शायद कल कोई और कर लेगा। कोई भी चिप बन रहा होता है तब कभी अगर हैकर उसको हैक कर ले तो ऑटोमेटिकली सब कुछ पहले ही पता लगा सकता है। यस, आई थिंक जो मोबाइल में जो चिप है, आई थिंक ऑल कंपनीज नो अबाउट आवर ऑल एक्टिविटी। You're a skilled engineer. So skilled engineer turned into entrepreneurship. तो entrepreneurship बनने का क्यों आया आपको, कि आपको क्यों नहीं लगा कि आप एक अच्छी पोजीशन पे अच्छा embedded system बना रहे होते किसी और बड़ी कंपनी में? Why you thought about to become your own boss?
Idea was not to become my own boss.
तो आपने एक चीज नोटिस करी थी ना, मतलब कि यूएस की कंपनी है, इंडिया से प्रोडक्ट बना रही है और इंडिया में ही सामान बेच रही है।
I think next 20 years is going to be real golden period for India for industrial things. I'm just feeling that because in 1980s or before, Britishers came and took all the valuable things from us, like all spices. All of this they took, they used it there, and then they made a good product. Today that is coming back to even India. Indian parents had a mentality or a limiting belief that comfort and safety at the early stage makes it very strong.
अनुरूप जी, बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका द फाउंडर्स ड्रीम के अंदर। कैसे हैं सर आप?
I'm great. I'm doing great today. It's an honor to be here with you too.
थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर कमिंग हियर। इस पॉडकास्ट की शुरुआत करने से पहले एक डायलॉग दे देता हूँ मैं, बढ़िया वाला, कि सफलता किसी का इंतजार नहीं करती, सफलता किसी का इंतजार नहीं करती। जो काम है वो आज ही करना पड़ेगा। अगर आज ही वो काम नहीं किया तो शायद कल कोई और कर लेगा।
Definitely.
तो इसी के लिए आज हम ये पॉडकास्ट बना रहे हैं सर।
Okay.
बिकॉज यू ऑल्सो टोल्ड मी अबाउट द सेम थिंग कि अगर 15 ईयर बैक अगर आपको अगर कोई सम गाइडेंस मिल जाता, कोई ट्रिगर पॉइंट मिल जाता, ये बताने वाला हो जाता कि आई कैन डू इट बेटर, तो शायद आप पहले स्टार्ट कर लेते।
True. Very true.
तो आप मतलब आपकी जर्नी की जब शुरुआत हुई तो कैसे भी, लाइक हु ट्रिगर्ड यू कि यार अब जॉब नहीं करना है मुझे ना, आई वांट टू कम इनटू द बिजनेस फील्ड?
So I got into business only last 10 years. Okay. I've had a good amount of, I see me as a very normal Indian kid coming from a lower middle class family. They give more importance for education. And then, I got into engineering. I got an engineering degree.
Normal middle class family.
Yeah, and I got into a company, a Corel. They were electronics and firmware. Luckily, I was the first software engineer there. They started
software engineer in that company.
In that company, because they were having only electronics, as electronic design as the major thing. And so when I say software, this is not the software what you see on the. It's called embedded software, I will say. Okay, it's not the app that you see on the top. It is the underlying software behind the scenes. So when you have a system, simple like a coffee vending machine, when you press a button, you don't have a display there, right? I mean, very minimal display. When you press a button, half liter or 200 ml coffee comes. Correct. So that thing happens because it has a software inside that. Right. That is what is embedded system. And that was my profession as I started.
कौन सी डिग्री होती है सर इसके लिए?
Electronics and communication.
बट इंजीनियरिंग में तो ये नहीं पढ़ाया जाता है, बिकॉज मेरे साथ में बहुत सारे इंजीनियर्स हैं जो कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड कम्युनिकेशन से पढ़े, बट मैं उनसे जब बात करता था इट वाज जस्ट सोल्डरिंग, दे डू इट इन इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज.
Yeah, soldering is the practical work of making the board, but inside that there has to be a program going in. That could be C language programming or assembly language programming at the early stage. Like there are something called as microprocessors or microcontrollers which sits inside this. Okay. And this is under the hood. Nobody sees outside.
Right.
The beauty of it is nobody can see that. And the challenge of it is nobody can see that when it malfunction also.
Right.
When you press a coffee of half liter and it only gives you, or when you press, you want a 200 ml and it gives you 1 liter on the box, everything goes bad. Right. So, in general, not like websites or what you see on the outside, embedded systems cannot have bugs. Okay,
हो ही नहीं सकता.
No, there will be bugs because even your phone hangs, right? That can happen, but then it cannot be critical. There are different types of embedded systems, critical systems and hard real-time systems like flight. You see flight's cockpit, right? Like, it's an embedded system, total system. It controls multiple things. It controls wings, it controls AC, it controls pressure, everything. What if any of these things fails? Like any other software, it fails.
Right.
So the casualty is more, or the severity of the failure is more. So we need to go through enormous number of tests and make sure that this code doesn't fail at any condition.
At any condition.
That is what it makes very premium and highly valuable.
Wow.
Simple. Your car today is not mechanical brake, right? When you apply brake, a signal, a command goes, like normal website commands, it goes to the ECU or a CAN protocol. I will just mention that. Okay. And resists there, and it has to, the ECU has to send another signal to the brake system saying that, hey, this is applied, go brake. What if something happens, this communication doesn't happen?
Correct.
You apply brake, it doesn't go. So the casualty is more. Yeah. So
Brake fail, accident.
yeah, exactly. So that is the importance of embedded system. So you need to have, you cannot make a program just to work. Okay, in our college days, we used to write a program just to work, it show that it is working.
Right.
But embedded system, you need to write a program which cannot fail.
Which cannot fail. मतलब हो ही नहीं सकता है.
हो ही नहीं सकता. You try to break it, it should not fail. That's the difference. That's why it is premium. Okay.
Right.
And whoever knows electronics and software engineering will get into this, because it's not just software. You write a software, it can run on any platform. But embedded system, you need to know how it works on the hardware also. So you need to also know the hardware. So it's a right mix of hardware and software in the middle, right in the middle.
तो आपको उस टाइम पे इंटरेस्ट कैसे आया, मतलब कि आपको लगा इंजीनियरिंग के बाद बहुत लोगों का इंटरेस्ट छूट जाता है पर्टिकुलर स्किल्स को लेके?
Correct.
सो आपने अपना इंटरेस्ट कैसे बनाए रखा उसमें?
From my early life itself, I was more curious about things. I was more in my early stage of schooling. I was more curious about how human body works. It was very fascinating for me. How does this works? Like when I pinch here, how does the pain goes here? All of this curious thinking was there, but I go and ask to my master, sir in the class, and then he gives me some answer, but that is not that did not satisfy me. The same way, when I started learning here, I had a lot of thought. Like when we had computers in 98 time frame, computer was a big thing. 1998, I'm talking about. Type A, how is it showing it A there? That was my thinking. And then I started, there was no Google at that time. So you have to look at the books. Like Intel had a big book, Intel 386 processors book. You have to read and see how this communication goes to there and how is it showing A on the print and all of it, right? I was trying to understand that, and then I was asking to my seniors and all of it, and I got somehow interested in that. So one of the most tough subject in engineering was microprocessors, microcontrollers.
So
and I was only good in that. The rest of the subject, English, math.
Because आप curious थे उसमें.
Yeah, I was curious, and then so I was good in that. So I had a good understanding while coming out of class. I had a good understanding of the system, how it works, and internally very detailed. So even a PC at that time, which was running in Windows 95 or something, I could know how it really boots, how each instruction works, and how the interrupt vector table and all works. That's all deep. Okay.
Wow.
And then I was trying to do some, hacking kind of thing. It's not hacking as such, but at that time, there was no protected memory in this. Anybody can do anything. If you know how to write microcontroller codes directly into the system, you can reprogram the memory such that when you C drive, when you click, it will go to A drive. You don't even know how it is. It's basically a link below that. So once you understand the system, then it became so powerful. This is the same knowledge which got me into my first company.
तो मतलब कोई भी चिप बन रहा होता है तब कभी अगर हैकर उसको हैक कर ले तो ऑटोमेटिकली सब कुछ पहले ही पता लगा सकता है.
Yes.
आई थिंक जो मोबाइल में जो चिप है, आई थिंक ऑल कंपनीज नो अबाउट आवर ऑल एक्टिविटी.
No, it's not like that.
It's not like that.
No. See, this is at the base level. When you say chip has to operate. That is the base software. On top of that, different hardware abstraction layer comes. That's again another software. On top of that, middle level layers comes like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi on all this. You cannot directly access Bluetooth to say that you go connect to this.
Right.
On top of that, an application layer comes. On top of that, hardware extraction layer. On top of that, an operating system comes. Or Android or Windows in laptop or any other things, iOS, all those things. On top of that, your application comes.
Right.
So any application what you write is only talking to the operating system. They don't know what these below layers are. And this keeps changing when the underlying hardware changes. But this will be common. That is why Android development, application on Android development, application on iOS development is common.
Correct.
You can all do that. It doesn't matter whether it is Chinese phone or Samsung phone or anything, right? Because Android stabilizes it.
Correct.
That's it. So what I'm talking about is below the operating system, how does it work? But for embedded systems, you need the entire thing, even the application.
Correct.
Could be, everything has to be very customized.
So Anuroop, आप मतलब let's talk about this key part. You're a skilled engineer.
Yes.
ठीक है, आपने सब कुछ सीख लिया, बिकॉज स्किल्ड इंजीनियर निकलते नहीं है इतने, उनको बाद में पता चलता है कि क्या काम करना लाइफ में ऑलरेडी, बट आप ऑलरेडी इसको चीज़ को समझ रहे थे. सो स्किल्ड इंजीनियर टर्न इनटू एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप.
Yes, I believe so.
तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप बनने का क्यों आया आपको, कि आपको क्यों नहीं लगा कि आप एक अच्छी पोजीशन पे अच्छा कोड अच्छा एम्बेडेड सिस्टम बना रहे होते किसी और बड़ी कंपनी में? व्हाई यू थॉट अबाउट टू बिकम योर ओन बॉस?
Idea was not to become my own boss.
नहीं था.
No,
ठीक है.
so I never had, see, I told you, my childhood or upbringing never met a businessman or talked to, or nor in my family, nor in my friend circle. There was no business people, or I don't know how they work, how they function. But I know from childhood that business people were valued high in the village. I know that, okay? That I've always seen. So I always had a fascination, but never took it to the next step. That apart, I came to, with the flow, came to work. See, this is what we have been conditioned from home. You go work, get some money, get married, or get to the next stage. This is normal. But nowadays, kids has a lot of information from internet, and then they know something else is also possible. But earlier stage, like millennials, no, there was no. 80s, somebody is born. This is the same path you might have.
Same, right? I was मतलब क्यूरियस कि मुझे क्यों नहीं मिला पहले. अगर मैंने जाता तो शायद मैं, आई थिंक आई कैन डू मच बेटर. बट ठीक है, जब मिला.
Exactly, that's the thing. So I never know this was entrepreneurship or something. So when I worked in the first company, as I said, I was the first software engineer, and there was no Google much. Google was not that famous at the time. You have to sit and read and solve the problem. I remember, I take this as a challenge when I get some problem, right? So I had spent at least 3 to 4 months together in the office from morning 10 o'clock till night 2 o'clock. I sit there. Nobody told me to do that. But after 6 o'clock, nobody will be there. I sit because I wanted to solve that problem. Okay, I sit and read, and I'm very proud about my friends. They come. I call at 2 o'clock. Somebody will not be there. There is another guy called Binu or Jitin or anybody will, or Babu. Anybody will come and pick me up in the night, then go back, have food, or have the remaining food, because bachelors are staying. Like 10 people were staying together in a independent house in Bangalore in BTM. We were staying there.
Yeah.
Go eat food, sleep, next day morning, come to office, same thing. And nobody has asked me to sit like that, but I had that drive to complete that or to solve that. It is not that completion, it's just why is it not working? That is the first question, right? It should work. Why would it was working on different board? Why is it not working in this? So then getting into, so I think those failures are the ones which made me, because those failures are the things you will get to know it deeper. If first stage itself, first code itself, if it were work, I wouldn't have known the system too deep. I wouldn't have gone to this because it's already working, right? Went deep, then you realize.
कितने साल काम किया सर आपने total?
Around 15 to 17 years I've worked in
पहले
MNCs and stuff like that. And that after Corel, I worked for an Orca system. That was a startup from Silicon Valley, US. And founders, two founders, the big company, a big funded startup at that time. And then I was in India, I was the 4th employee there, and I was taking care of software from scratch, from the boot code till the application which I was telling for that specific application. I had a chance because, and the thing was, I came to this company not because I got a pay raise. In fact, from whatever I was getting from Corel, I got 50,000 rupees less to join this
New company. Wow.
New company.
But why you are choosing that company?
Because I know that I'm the only one and I get to work full on the software. He told me, right? We don't have anybody. We have only hardware people. If you take care, you will have to take care of everything. That's what I wanted. And after 8 years, there were around 50 people in that company. I had a team of people who were working later. So I had full control. I've traveled multiple countries with in that company because to integrate the software which we have done with multiple other customers and all of this, Windows, Linux coding, drivers, all of this we have done. So
आप passionate थे इस वजह से सब.
yes, so I would say
Otherwise तो
that I never felt it as a work or somebody is directing me to do it, right? And then I moved to, after the change, some investors came and some other issues were there in the company. And then we have moved out. And then I joined to Microchip. That is a big company. Like Microchip is like an Intel company. Okay. Intel based, the same, similar to Intel. I mean, I'm just...
तो अभी आपने कंपनी कौन से ईयर में स्टार्ट किया? It's
2015.
Avench System.
Yeah, it is 2015.
2015 में स्टार्ट किया. क्या बनाया आपने सबसे पहले?
Okay, I joined this company because of my friends. I have a friend from college. We started together. I had this idea of starting. I used to do a lot of freelancing work even when I was working with Orca Systems. That is a startup again. So some period I get lose time. So I started working freelancing, and then with these friends of mine, colleague or college mates of mine, is starting a company, and then I got to be the part of that company. Correct. As a software. So since when I started the company, within 6 months, things are not going good. And we were 5 founders in that time. Founders at that time. All of them are college grads. 2 of them are hardcore. 3 of them were hardcore hardware guys. 2 of them were software guys. So together, same embedded system field. We actually originally started the company. So 3 of them were from ex-Intel guys. So we all know how the MNCs works. And we know that we produce product for Western market. And then at last it comes to India. And we are using that. So we thought we will start company to produce products for Indian market. What is the Indian problems? Indian problems are different. So we'll produce, that is where we started. And we started with a product called Power Panda at that time. But it did not fly much. But all of us are engineers. That is very strong technical, but it comes with the pay that business was not that great. We were not good business people, right? Because then it went down for some time, and then 2 people wanted to leave. I mean, there was a situation where came that the existing CEO didn't want us could not carry full burden. Then he said, if somebody can do it, otherwise we were close to dissolving the company. And I said, I just got in. I didn't want to just step out from this. So, but I have my limitations. I cannot go and talk to people whom I don't know. So basically he asked me, if that is the case, you take the CEO role. I said, I don't know what a CEO. First of all, I'm very frank. I did not know at that time. Never it came to my mind also. And I told him, I cannot talk to people whom I don't know. I cannot get onto a stage and talk because my knees start shivering. But I'm not good. So I'm like, see, why we are connected one-on-one, I can talk, not a problem. But the people whom I'm not connected, I cannot talk. I always, and this is something, the fear which I've overcome, because when this role demands that, I have to do, even though it gives me a lot of butterflies in my stomach, I have to do this. That's what I understand. Okay. So, and then I said, if that is the case, you be the face of the company. If finance can be controlled, project management can be done, I'll take care of the customer. This is all back-end job. This I'll do, and I never want to be on the limelight, and I don't want to be. So he said, okay, he'll take care of the company on the sales front and then be the face of the company. That's how I got into the CEO-ship. Wow. I would still say it was an accidental CEO.
मैं तो सारे फाउंडर्स को ये बात बोल रहा हूँ कि अनुरूप सर को देख लो आज इस पॉडकास्ट में, बिकॉज इफ़ यू आर नॉट एबल टू कम्युनिकेट, आपको लगता है कि आप बात नहीं कर पाओगे, कस्टमर से बात नहीं कर पाओगे, तो आप कंपनी नहीं बना सकते। रॉन्ग। फिर भी आप कंपनी बना सकते हो।
Yeah, it's true.
दिल में चाहत होनी चाहिए, मतलब कि यार मेरे को करना है।
Yes, that's what I'm trying. See, I felt there is a difference between wishing and desiring. Okay, wishing, yeah, you will do it if there is a chance, or you will stretch for it, right? But desire is not that you're not going to fail.
बट फर्स्ट कस्टमर कैसे मिला आपको? वो तो बताया नहीं आपने।
So that's what after 17 years of MNC experience, people knows us. So few customers we got from. So we initially started with product idea. We started product, but very soon it was a bootstrapped company. Very soon we realized that we cannot. We were having a highly paid job in MNC, and then came here. We are not taking salary. After 6 months, no, we cannot run this. Then we started selling as a service. Like this is highly skilled service. Because embedded systems cannot be built like you see Android developer, all these things. Everybody can try with a laptop, and you sit for 6 months, you will be an expert, or 1 year you will be an expert. Right. But embedded you can't, because you need to have real hardware knowledge, real software knowledge putting into that, and real experience is required while programming that and see how it fails and all of it, right? So that really matters. So those customers who came to us, they came to us with a good understanding that we know the technical. When we go for the sales call, right, it's that we don't get too many sales calls. That is our problem. But the sales calls we go, we can really impress them because we know the stuff what we do. Yeah. In now detail, we go to very detail, we can go to very details, any talk, right? So that's the difference.
तो आपने एक चीज नोटिस करी थी ना, मतलब कि यूएस की कंपनी है, इंडिया से प्रोडक्ट बना रही है और इंडिया में ही सामान बेच रही है।
यस।
सो अभी क्या लगता है आपको, अगर इंडिया में अगर इस तरह के एम्बेडेड सिस्टम के मतलब जो इंजीनियर्स है, इफ दे विल कम आउट एंड इफ दे विल सेल द ग्लोबली द प्रोडक्ट, थिंग्स विल चेंज?
आई थिंक नेक्स्ट 20 years is going to be real golden period for India for industrial things, revolution. I'm just feeling that because I've been traveling around the world. I've seen industries. India is far better in at least fintech and these technologies when you compare to any European countries, in some US places also. But European and US has a different standards for making this product. Okay, but for India, jugaad always works. So that's a problem, right? That is why India app building is coming up, because even if you fail, there is no problem. Nobody is getting caught. Why is it not we don't have an engine control unit from India? Because there you need too much of planning. You need to really sit and do it. Very good of planning, very good understanding of the product, project management. All of these things comes into picture because when you're building a critical system which cannot fail, so jugaad won't work there.
एक कॉफी मशीन तो इंडिया की नहीं है सर, कोई भी नहीं बना रहे। क्यों नहीं बनाते, मतलब इंडियन पीपल?
See, if coffee,
सिंपल कॉफी मशीन, मतलब why it is not from India?
I don't know if it's not or there or not, but
it's not global product.
See, what I generally felt is in India, in young kids, at least in millennials and next level, people have always wanted to join to big companies or MNCs, brand name, big name, and then big salary. That's what my parents wanted, but that's what all of it wanted. But if you see, I see this as a pattern. Like in previous decades, not like decades, in 1980s or before, Britishers came or Westerners came and took all the valuable things from us, right? Like all pepper or spices, all of this they took, they used it there, and then they made a good product. Today that is coming back to even India, right? You go outside, all your duty-free shops will have that, which is going from India, packaged in such a beautiful way, and then you will buy it and gift it to Indian people. So who is taking the value? Value is in the marketing or the other side of the thing. Correct. Doing is also have value, but when you are doing as an engineer, you are only trading your time. Right? Correct. 8 hours you can put, I'll give you value, and I'll give you so much value that you don't feel that, oh my God, 8 hours I'm getting paid like this much, 10,000 rupees for 8 hours or something like that, right? Big money you'll give. But the value what they create is the business, right? Because they are selling to, they are packaging it, making it as a business, and then selling it as a product or value to the same customers. So I have a feeling that Indians have, or Indian parents had a mentality or a limiting belief that comfort and safety at the early stage makes it very strong. And you start saving the money and then become at 35 or 40 or 20, late 20s, you'll get married, get kids, and then invest in something, mutual funds or whatever, right? And then grow. After 40 years, and 45 years, you're pension and settled and everything. And you live with that money which you had.
Correct.
But the thing is, that's not how actually business people or rich people works. That's what I felt. One is that. Second thing is what Westerners did earlier, that taking everything from here and then giving back it as a package to here. Now, in this era, or you see, all the premium colleges from India,
Correct.
best products are going to Western
Clive.
because they make the product and sell it back to India. Because India is a big market.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Indian
What is
mentality
happening?
Yeah.
If see you pay okay, think of Google. I'm just giving an example. You know what is Google's revenue, right? Billions, right? And they may be paying $500,000 or 100K, 200K for even a fresher. But what they build from there is direction is coming from there, right? But the core thing is doing it from here. And don't you think Indians cannot do that?
They can do
We
it.
can. But why is it not coming in from India itself? So that is a mindset change, what I feel the Indians has to feel. But I'm sure it will come now because we are forced to do that. Now you see the market, everybody is laying off, everybody is having a problem.
Correct.
Ultimately, what will you do? We have too many number of Indians. It's not just the technology. Even today, I'm a technology person. Even today, I feel in the business, right? Technology plays only 20% role, right? Even in Google. I'm 100% sure about it.
Right.
Any product will work as it is. But for a business to run or a business to scale or business to make it impact, it only comes 20%. So Indian mentality is logical. Like engineers think logically to make things. But that's not how it works. That is what I learned in last 8 years. When I started entrepreneur or business CEO role, I realized that we were good in analytical. We understand, okay, this happens, logically this happens. No, it's not like that.
Correct.
Because if you're talking to a customer, you can state the fact, but if he doesn't like it, for any reason, the way you talk, okay, was little arrogant or it was not that great, he may not buy. He has a choice to go for somebody else who pleases him. So what works? It's not logical. It's the people. You understand people. So that was the main shift for me from engineer to, this is what I feel the biggest challenge. You have to unlearn few things, then learn the business. That was very difficult. Once you get it, you get a very good combination of people side of it and engineering. It's actually a very good thing. So that's why India has that engineering potential. And the other side, conversion is not that easy. The people person who doesn't have that engineering skill coming to engineering skill is very difficult. So that's why I feel India is set for actually launching a lot of good products in next few decades. If engineers, young people can get into this entrepreneurship or mindset or build something or look around for the problems and then how do we solve it? Or go talk to a number of startups are here, a number of mentors are here. Go talk to them and send an email or call people or call even to me. I can help people in any way, however I want, right? See, based on my timing, and I can see you get a lead, work on it, and you produce something for one person. It doesn't become perfect in first day. So many people wanted a perfect product to be launched. No, it's not that way. You make something and give it to customer and get the feedback, perfect it. After some point of time, you will really realize this is not the product what you started, but this is more closer to the customer.
Right.
And customers will like it. And then you will realize it's not the technology.
Right. So,
Technology was very less.
Right.
So that is a part I would encourage people to look at and then start by your own. That is something which I always wanted to say.
Right. मतलब इस पॉडकास्ट में मतलब एक सॉलिड सी लर्निंग हो गई है. प्रोडक्ट अब मतलब होता क्या है कि लोग प्रोडक्ट बना लेते हैं, उनको लगता है कि सेल नहीं हो रहा है. आप बना लो, सेल करना स्टार्ट करो, फ्री में स्टार्ट करो, धीरे धीरे तो ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल चेंज और वो प्रोडक्ट बन जाता है जो मार्केट की नीड है.
Exactly. So it's never. So we always think that first you'll have the full product spec designed and then get into market. No, it doesn't work like that. You may be getting it from a customer, but it's always you decide on something and then build it, give it to customer and get the feedback. Then you will get to know how is the usability. It's not how is it working, how is the user experience. That and how easy is, how does it add value to them. Until you get that, you get the feedback. Or whatever they say, you try to do it. And at one point you'll get, okay, if you pay me, I am willing to pay this much amount of money for this. That is when you'll get that first thing. Then you start selling it. Until then, it's not a viable business at all. You are just trying to convert your hobby to business. Once there is a person, you try to find out similar customers, similar people, similar needs, go to a different industry or different things and try to sell it. Then you will understand.
Right.
Maybe there is customization required, but you already know how people thinks.
Right.
See, the thing is, every other person is different. If you're trying to sell to one person, and you try to imagine what he thinks, and then you ask and then get the feedback, which is better. It's always ask and get the feedback. That is a real, right?
So Anuroop, मतलब your journey is मतलब too good. मतलब आपने 17 year काम किया, then you started, and you are also helping. मतलब in podcast में आप आए हो, then I think so many founders will reach out to you. As the podcast will be in our air, कि अच्छा हमको भी help कर दो. So you will help them.
I will definitely help them. See, what I'm thinking of is, as I said, right? If somebody would have been advised me from my maybe first 5 years of work, hey, why don't you start a company? You take a good responsibility and all of it. If somebody would have supported me that time, I would have been somewhere else. I'm sure.
Right.
Okay.
So one piece of
I don't
advice we
want that
to give,
to happen to many people here. At least I can tell you, if somebody has that thing, or you are taking more, you like to do something passionately, convert that into business.
Correct.
And that is, India needs that now.
So Anuroop, इस podcast के last सवाल आपसे, what one piece of advice you will give to all entrepreneurs?
I don't know how different people think, but I feel why I think this way is maybe because how I've been brought up. I am, as I said, right, I'm from village, but I had a chance to, in 90s, you start seeing Akshay Kumar movies.
Right.
I was liking his fights so much, and I started learning martial arts.
अच्छा आपने white belt और black belt भी करा है?
White belt is a starting, black belt is a 10th belt. So today I hold, so I started in my 4th standard or 5th standard, I started learning karate, and I love martial arts. Not only karate, all martial arts I love. I've learned multiple martial arts, but karate I started in my 5th standard, and then by 10th standard I was first dan black belt. Today I hold 5th degree black belt in Shorin-ryu karate. Okay, and that means at least 25 years of service practice you need in karate. And I understand when you start, practice is the key for any other things. Like when you start, you'll throw a punch, a white belt throws a punch, and you can see that. And the same punch a black belt throws, you will see the difference in grace, in power, in acceleration of the punch. No. Why is that happens? There is no other technique being taught till there. Yeah, but they do. It generally takes 4 to 4.5 years to, if you're 2 to 3 hour work practice in a week. That many days you will punch the same thing, do the same thing again and again consistently, trust that process and do it, trust the master and do the process. At the end you become a black belt. And then you turn back and see how a white belt punches and your punch is different. That's totally different. But if you try to judge in the middle, you are yellow belt or your orange belt, and I'm also doing the same thing like him, and there is no change, then there is no change.
Right.
It doesn't happen like that. So I always feel that, see, today I learned something as, if you want to do something, you go find out somebody who has walked this path and successful.
Right.
And go to them, do whatever it takes, surrender to them. And just do what they ask you to do.
Absolutely.
Don't apply your mind there. Because we will have enough. Yeah, that will kill the thing. So you just do it what they say. Eventually you will reach there. And the consistency beats talent. Right? If you're consistent in doing anything, you will beat the talented people. Definitely so. You know the Sachin and Kambli story, right? I don't need to tell. Wow, that's it. It's not the talent first itself you will not have. You will build it. Right. You have to have the patience. You have that is where I have that discipline. I think one of the good virtues is discipline and courage to try something new. It's not. You'll always feel scared when you get into ring to fight first. But once you get to hang of it, it's just that kuch nahi hota. So that's it. So once you get it, that's it.
Anuroop, thank you so much for coming in the podcast and it was a really great landing. मतलब आपने बोल दिया कि कंसिस्टेंस मतलब लगे रहो एक काम में and just समर्पण कर दो अपने आप को, surrender.
Yeah, surrender to everything. Yeah, that's what I.
Thank you so.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
That's a really great. One reel will be get viral for this. Thank you so much.